What's up? What's up? What's up?
Midday greetings.
What's up, you guys? How's everyone doing? Happy Thursday. We are ready. We are ready to get started. We have the man, the myth, the legend himself in the back. He
You
is
can't take
ready.
my line and use it.
Okay, there you go. Have it.
Go on,
No,
have
no,
it. Just have
no,
it.
no.
Just have it. Just
Because you
have
had
it.
no intro.
Just
So
roll
come on,
with it.
come
Just
on,
roll with
come
it.
on.
Go. I ain't fooling with you. Just go.
We have the man, the myth, the legend himself waiting to get on, waiting to drop some knowledge as we divulge into this rehab game. A lot of the key pieces to rehab that a lot of people are missing when it comes to rehab. Rotty has trained us. He has helped us. He has told us about ourselves quite a few times. So I'm really excited to bring him on. I want you guys to share this to everyone that you know.
Share it in your groups.
Share it in your groups. If you know that they are investing in real estate, if you know that they are interested in investing in real estate, if they're having a hard time on their rehabs, if they're even faking like they're doing really good in their rehabs, I promise you there's some holes in there and Rowdy can really help straighten them out. So I want you to share it in your groups. I want you to like, I want you to subscribe. For those of you who are following on YouTube, I want you guys to share it. I want you to like, comment, and subscribe as well. We should be able to see your comments. So make sure you mark your comments and let me know where's everyone from today. I'm going to in and I want you to tell me where you're from today. Type where you from. What's up, Rowdy?
Rowdy.
What's
Is
up?
that the Alabama slang? I call it mud slang.
There's that
Rowdy.
Alabama
Rowdy
slang
Roddy
to it.
Piper.
That's that
Remember that?
Denmark slang
Rowdy
to it.
Roddy Piper. So what are we
Rowdy.
gonna do here, guys? What we gonna talk about?
Man, I get
Apple picking? Are we
We
gonna talk
got to
about
talk
apple
about
picking or what?
rehabs.
Oh, those things.
First off, I
I've
want to
never
thank you
put.
for coming on. I know you're a busy man. You on vacation. I know that. So I thank you for actually coming on and giving us a little bit of your time today. Just trying to help
Yes.
as many people as we can. Yeah, we're going to talk. You should have told me I could have got a cup of wine or something.
All I got is water.
This is called Roddy time. This is Roddy time.
Rowdy, I like it.
Listen, you already in my favorite spot back there. I can see it from here.
Yeah, you were in this room at the event. Yeah.
Yes,
I
yes.
was.
That's where we learned to flip that shit.
Flip that shit.
Yes, we did a virtual camp first,
We did.
and then we actually came to Chicago. We brought the team, and you trained the team. It was amazing. We still talk about it to this day. The information and that knowledge was like priceless, honestly. So thank you for that.
Sidebar, I never knew Chicago was so beautiful. Um, and I know I should, but if it's cold, I don't really want to be there. But I think we came in the perfect moment.
Yes.
It wasn't cold, it wasn't hot.
I don't remember.
It was in you remember.
I don't remember. I do so much.
It was in May. It was in May.
Fred was there. Was it? It was. Fred says it was. It was.
It wasn't raining.
I think you're right.
So
it was about almost a year ago. Yeah.
Yeah, close to a year. Yeah, we got a couple questions. If you guys are watching and you have questions, don't be afraid of that. This is for you. This is our time to give back to make sure that you guys can improve what you're doing and grow. So we got some basic questions, but if you got questions, drop them in the chat.
Absolutely.
I'm
Rowdy,
a rookie,
you
by the
ready?
way. I've never done this before, so I'm a little nervous.
You trained us. You ain't no rookie. All right, Rowdy, you want to get to it?
Let's go.
Let's go. What
you
you got?
next, Rowdy?
So I'm gonna get the first
You
question.
get the first question. Since I did the intro, you get the first question.
My first question will probably be, what gives Rowdy the authority to have a flip that shit?
I knew you'd hit me
who's
with
Rowdy? Like,
Who is Rowdy?
like what gives
Who's
you the
Ryan?
authority? Who's Ryan?
Who's
Okay,
Ryan?
I said the right way. Who's Ryan?
Ryan's different than Roddy. 100%. I'm glad you asked. Ryan's a daddy. Ryan's a daddy first and foremost. All right. Ryan's a son or brother, a cousin, a friend. Right. That's who Ryan is. Rotty is the most dominant figure in construction, period, in the story. Two different people.
Ooh,
Let's
love
go.
it.
Let's go.
Two different people.
When I'm in business mode, I'm a whole different animal. That's exactly why I'm an animal. When I'm not in business mode, I'm a daddy. I'm hanging out. I'm making lunches and breakfasts and dinners. I'm taking care of my grandmother, doing laundry. I'm normal. I don't know why people think I'm not normal. I'm absolutely 1,000% normal. I'm like everybody else.
You got to show that side more, man. You got to show that.
We'll see how that turns out. That's like, you got to understand something. I've been doing this 20 years, and I've been fortunate enough to be in the spotlight for a long time. And we're blessed where the trajectory of all of our success kept going up. And then we hit a plateau, and then it goes up like anything in business. But you somewhat live a public life. So I like to keep my private life private. So everybody that follows me on social knows that I rarely post anything personal. Every now and then you'll see my kids. You'll never know where I'm at, unless I'm at an event or whatnot. Obviously, I'm promoting that. But I keep my private life private, and it should be that way. And I think that's why I say the difference between Ryan and Rotty is very different, right? At the end of the day, Rotty gets paid, and the analogy I'll give you is Deion Sanders. When Deion Sanders was put into the Hall of Fame, right? He was put in the Hall of Fame. He actually explained who Primetime was and who Deion was, and that made him human, because everybody's like, Primetime, blah, blah, the jewels, the flash, the money, blah, 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 right? And he talked about the simple cliche that his mom worked at night. She was scrubbing floors. He said, one day I'll make you rich. You're never going to do that job again. We all have those dreams. We all had those dreams, right? And then he knew that he had a gift from God, right? He was the fastest guy. He was a two-sport athlete. He was the man. And he had a swagger and a confidence to back it up. And he just basically said his first, night playing football was on primetime television. And he made a hell of a play, and the announcers called him primetime. And he used it, stuck with it. It's primetime, and he got paid because of it. So when we created Rotty was to get paid. And I tell people all the time, never, ever fucking mix up the confusion between the person and the persona. And I tell the same person who has that persona, I've got Rotty and I'm Ryan, I don't mix the two. I tell people all the time, I keep them extremely separate for two different purposes. I'm not Rotty at home. There's no need to be Rotty at home. What am I going to do? I'm going to get mad at my kids because they knock over milk? No, I'm going to be like, way to go, dude. Go get your napkin, clean that up. In my mind, I'm thinking, what the fuck? But, here we go. but because like it's crazy, because in the morning I might be at a job site and I'm cussing somebody out like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you're not paying attention. You have the scope of work. You're not getting the fucking change order. I know what you're trying to do. And then I get a phone call. Can you pick me up from camp? Yeah, I'm on my way.
I'll be there.
On my way.
I love it. You gotta have the balance, man.
I love it, man. I love that to the utmost. I know when we was there, tell us about some of them awards you don't want.
My awards?
Yeah.
Now you can let me talk about myself? That's what you guys want.
Why not?
Why not?
All right, that's cool. You want to hear them? I'll hit you with them. So here's the deal. I'm a two-time Big 50 award winner, which meant for twice in the last 15 years, I was one of the top 50 contractors in the country. I'm a 5-time top 550 contractor, which means I made that list 5 years in a row at being at least in the top 550 contractors in the country. I'm an Inc. 5000 winner. I don't know. I've been in a dozen or so magazines. I've been on TV. I've been in different TV shows. We got a new TV show. I mean, come on, man.
You got a TV show coming?
You want Rotty? I'll give you Rotty. You asked, the original question was what? I pay attention to listen to everything. You asked me about what makes me the foremost authority. I just told you.
Yes, sir.
That was it.
Ooh,
I'm the most highly awarded contractor in this industry. Facts. I'll wait.
I love it. All right, it's your turn. Now you got a question now.
All right, so we're gonna talk about your success, but tell me what's the biggest mistake, mishap, failure? Give me the biggest. Let's get.
There's so many. I mean, honestly, there are so many. Like, I'm sweating thinking about that question. There's so many. Oh my God. There's not one. There is kind of one in particular. We had a house collapse. All right.
Tell me about that.
That's a big problem. I don't even think that's a mistake. That's a fuck up. Like, that's what he's doing.
The whole house collapse.
It was years ago, and we had was one of those seasons because obviously the weather these days, these years now, everything's more mild. Like right now we're in Chicago, it's like 30 degrees or so, a little bit of snow, but nothing major, right? It's been a pretty mild season. It was one of those years, I don't know, 6, 7, maybe, I don't even know. It's maybe 10 years ago. We had a huge bungalow on the south side of Chicago, and it was a big property. It was probably already over 2,000 square feet. And in construction, when you hit 2,500 square feet, it becomes a custom home. And we were like borderline in custom home, which kind of gives you the grandeur and the size of this thing. Bottom line is we had to, if I remember correctly, we need to gut the whole thing. We need to trench down the basement to achieve certain ceiling height so we can make it a livable space down there with egress windows and all that good stuff. We planned for it. We were ready to rock on that. We had to dig out the concrete pad in the basement, dig 2 feet down, the whole 4 inches of gravel, run the new underground plumbing and piping, galvanized, had to be removed, all new PVC. What we didn't plan for was the mild weather. So one day it would be 60 degrees in December. Next day it was cold again. So the ground never froze. It was very soft, to be honest with you. So once we created this shell of just 4 walls of bricks, right, it started moving. You don't see it moving, but the building is moving. You know, it could be a centimeter, it could be an inch. It doesn't matter, but it's moving. We were trying to put in new floor joists. All the floor joists had to be changed, right? So we had to rip out all the LVL beams, everything like that. We had to move all of our trusses a whole foot, which means our doorways were different, our windows were different. It was just a massive construction project. We should just fucking knock it down and rebuild, which is basically what had to happen anyway. But bottom line is the property was moving. I had a project manager that called me one morning and said, dude, we got a problem. And I'm a kind of guy that's like, I don't want to hear your fucking problems. Figure it out. That's why I hired you for. He's like, well, I don't know the answer to this. And I said, shit, if you don't know the answer.
Got a problem.
Yeah. So I'll always remember that. I get anxiety thinking about it now because I could have been out of business real quick. So I remember thinking, I had this knot in my stomach. I better get out there. So I drove out there and I'm like, what's the problem? Everything looked normal. He goes, go to the back. So I go to the back and I saw this massive crack. Like it's all brick now. So all this massive crack through all the tuck pointing from the very top, which means it opened and it was going all the way down. So all it was doing was basically separating. Just a matter of time. It was a separate. There's nothing we could do. Wow. So logic told me we got to shore up the walls, right? So we were doing, we had 2x4s and we had everything shimmed from the outside trying to pancake it in. I didn't plan. I should have used more logic, but I didn't. I fucked up. I made the mistake of telling my team, short up from the outside. We should have shorted up from the inside. We did pass a certain inspection, so the inspectors were fucking wrong because the prince told us what to do, and we did what the prince told us to do. So it was everybody in the transaction made a mistake in terms of the architectural prints were off. My decision making was off. My team agreed to it, which they probably should have corrected me, but they were off. My project manager had his own decisions. We were off. So as a team, we failed, right? But as the leader, I failed. It was my decision overall. It was my project, my name, my contract, my company. So what happened was the house the next day or so, probably about 2 days later, fucking just collapsed. Boom, boom, boom. Right? It just pancaked on each other. Now I'm like, all right, so we need to get a tractor in here. We need to clean this out. And then obviously we had to file insurance claims, had the insurance covered, all this bullshit. Obviously my finances took a hit on that because people were like, what are you doing? Thought you're the big bad wolf, right? My reputation took a hit, my relationships took a hit because that's a big fuck up. And
how did you bounce back?
Because that's what I do. I don't give a shit. But, so what? To me, I was like, that was the greatest lesson at that time in my career. I'm like, now this is what you don't do to collapse a house, right?
This is what you don't do, right?
Don't do this. And so, but I think, ultimately, the insurance claim covered it, and then we had this lot that was for sale, and it was worth a lot of money. We sold the lot, broke even, called it a day.
Call it a day.
The sale on the lot covered the loan, so we're done.
Oh, that was perfect. Okay.
All right.
So,
I gotta.
But you gotta have the mindset that nothing's gonna fuck with you. I mean, if you're weak, don't do it. First off, business isn't for the weak to begin with. You guys know that. You're in business, right? You've seen me speak in person here in this room, actually. You have to be an animal to accept all the risks that are going to come your way. More importantly, what you don't know is coming your way. And that's every day, all day. I have no idea what's going to happen in an hour. No clue. I can plan for it. My experience and my spider senses tell me what's coming, right? I'm a dog. I can smell that shit out a mile away, but what's coming is coming, right? That's all God's will. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen. You just do your best to learn. But if you get scared of every single mistake, get the fuck out of the way. You're just in the way.
Just in the goddamn way. Love it.
You're just in the way. Excuse me. Remember, I'm on vacation. I don't start
Different direction a little bit.
I don't start really working until the 15th when I actually come down to Alabama.
Let's go. I know that you work with a lot of investors with their projects, a lot of rehabs.
Yes.
What are one or two traits that you see in the successful ones that you work with?
Ego. I don't care how awesome you are, how amazing you are, what your brand is, how much money you have, what your net worth is. I don't give a shit about any of that. If your ego, I was just having this conversation this morning via text, and I was talking about people telling you to be humble. I used to get that all the time. Like, you got to be more humble. I go, get the fuck out of here. Because at the end of the day, you're telling me or asking me to be humble because I'm making you uncomfortable with the bomb ass shit that I'm doing. Right? That's what that means. That's what that means. So you be humble. Right? You sit back and take some notes on if you're not going to, you don't have the balls to do what I'm doing, but you got to tell me to be humble. I just went through hell, right? With my reputation and all the mistakes I've made to get to this point. I know when to be humble. And I always tell people, I have a great heart. I have a good heart. Right? I'll show you respect if you show me respect, but don't ever tell me to be humble because you're not on my level.
Ooh, ego. That's a big one.
Talk that shit.
I would echo that because a lot of
you guys asked for Rotty.
Later I'm gonna
go home and cut up. Later I'm gonna go home and cut up apples and grapes for my kids.
Oh my gosh, I love it. You get ready to say something.
You got it.
You sure?
Yeah.
You was in the middle.
I'm done.
You forgot.
Yeah.
All right. So that was your biggest failure.
One of them, yeah.
I know you've done one of them. I know you've done some great things. Tell me your biggest accomplishment thus far.
In business?
Yeah.
Whoa. I've had many. I've been blessed. I've had many accolades, many recognitions, many awards, much validation. I think if I could gift wrap all of that, to answer that question, I think it's based on like a time period in your journey, right? So where I'm at now at 41, I'm age 41. I've been doing this since 21. This is all I know, right? This is all I can do. I mean, I'm sure I can do other things, but this is what I'm good at, apparently. This is what God chose for me, so I roll with it. But I think if you asked me this question 5 years ago, different answer. 10 years ago, different answer. 15 years ago, different answer. But I think at the stage I am as a man personally, I've had such personal growth in my own life that my answer to that's going to be uniquely different. I think my biggest success is that I grew up, and I grew up in business because I grew up in life, right? I went from being a boy to a man, I would just say like a couple of years ago, you know what I mean? So understanding that it's not about money, that it's about giving, understanding that it's not about fame, it's about building a legacy, you know, understanding the difference to what your goals were. Because my goals before were selfish. I was a selfish son of a bitch. I was cocky. I was selfish. Everybody knew it, but everybody's like, well, he's still the only guy that could do it. So they had to deal with me. And I think
I got to call him.
To answer the question flat out, my biggest accomplishment is that I've learned that I have a gift, and now it's time to give that back. So by going into consulting and by going into teaching and doing these boot camps that you've attended, that's my way of saying thank you to everybody who believed in me from day one, even when they didn't like me. And one of my models growing up in this game was, you don't have to like me, but you'll like my results. So let's get busy. So it's one of those things where we don't have to be friends until we make money. I'm good with that. So, you know, it's just, I think it's the evolution of your mindset and where your heart and your mind collide on that, because some CEOs and business owners, they fuck that up. And they stay in this area that honestly will continue to affect their personal life. And vice versa, whatever they're doing. So for example, I consult at the highest level, right? I consult CEOs from hedge funds, and they have vices. And sometimes I'm like, listen, bro, I can't help you. One, you got an ego problem. You think you're God's gift to earth. And that's a problem for me because I used to be that, and I'm not there anymore. So I know where you're at and where you're going. Then I'll say, you know, you've got vices that are affecting your ability to manage this company, which is the big problem here. I said, you've got 100 employees depending on you, but you like cocaine and strippers. But you think that's a problem, you know? And then they get defensive and whatnot. But that's the reality of the reality. Wealth and money and the idea of flashy shit and being rich will jade your mind. That's when the devil comes knocking at your doors, when you're at your highest, right? When you've reached a certain level of success, and success is different for everybody. Right? The way I view success might be different than the way you view success. There's no right or wrong answer. It's personal. But when certain people reach where they hit a goal or a milestone, to them, they're at that next level, That's when the devil comes appearing. Because you got to remember,
Right.
everything you pray for, with God, every goal you set, everything you put out into the universe, every secret you share, the devil hears it too. That's what people don't realize. Every time you say, God, I wish I had this, or God, all these things, the devil hears those prayers too. And that's when the devil shows up at your door. So I think over my career, I have ridden that wave up and down of balancing what matters. Is it money or is it people? And I think my biggest success now is that I value the relationships and the people that I've crossed paths with. I'm indebted to every single person that's ever helped me. Everybody like you guys that I work with, I learned from you as well. You guys show me something I've never seen before. You guys may challenge me on a question I've never been asked. You might have a challenge I've never seen. So we grow together, and that's what it's all about.
Sweet. All right. So a lot of people that follow us, a lot of our students that we mentor, they are beginners. What advice would you give to a beginner investor who is getting ready to do their first project?
Ooh, don't do it. Fucking find a different job. Go. No. Stay
Wrong answer, Rotty.
Stay out of the way. So I'll give you the good and the bad. I don't fucking play. You guys asked me to be on this call, right? I'll give you the raw part first. Expect sleepless nights. Expect interpersonal relationship turmoil. Expect if you're married or not married or about to get married, expect that to be conflicted from time to time. Expect your finances to maybe be a roller coaster, especially in the beginning. And that's the negative side. I'm not going to bullshit anybody on it. Everybody goes through it, and there's people still going through it. And I don't care what level you're at, you still have it in your life. It's still knocking on the door. I have those challenges every now and then. Something's like pops up. I'm like, been down that door. I'm not opening that door, but I know it's there. But my point is, rookies don't know what's behind any door. I can give a rookie 9 doors. They don't know what's behind 9 doors, right? I'll know what 9 doors are and what the hell's down the hallway. I'm ready. So that's experience. So what I would tell the rookies, and we have never really worked with rookies. I've always worked with the mid-range to the guys that are at the highest levels. We are just now starting to work with rookies because we see that even after 20 years, no one's giving them the game the way they need to get the game. And I've been seeing so many people come to me 5, 6, 7 years after they started their career in this business of real estate investing. And I'm like, fuck, I could have expedited that shit 5 years ago if you would have called me. I didn't know these were your challenges. And I'll find out, like, who's your coach, who's your mentor. Half the time I know who that is. I'm like, fuck, they steered you a little bit wrong. I'm surprised by that. Now, I don't name drop. That's not my deal. But my point is, with the rookies, I'll tell them this. Be patient, be smart, do your own research, but more importantly, line yourself up with the right mentor. Find the people who are where you want to be tomorrow. It may not be where you want to be 5 years from now, because that's what goal planning is all about. Where do you want to be a year from now? Some people, it's just, I want to be out of my 9 to 5, right? It's a very simple goal. Then start there and find the person who just got out of their 9 to 5 who is not running their business. Start at that level. I'll give you an example. When I first got in the game, I didn't know shit. And I was following all these meetups. I'm like, I got to be in these groups. I got to hang out with these people. And I realized I don't even like these people. I don't want to hang out with these people. But I need to be in this room, apparently. That's what I was told. So I'd sit in these rooms and hang out. I observe. And that's one of the biggest traits that I could give somebody or tell somebody to learn is to shut your fucking mouth and observe. Like, sit back and just watch people. They'll bullshit themselves out of something. They'll lie they'll lie physically before they even verbally lie. Like, just observe and trust your gut, right? Because you need to learn that instinct in business real quick, how to read people. Real quick. And then the most authentic ones are the ones like me. They just tell you how it is. Now, I'm an acquired taste. I know that. I'm not for everybody. I'm good with that. One of my mentors to this day told me that I'll never forget. He said, you don't want them all. You don't need them all. You won't get them all. Make peace with that. That's huge. That's huge value right there for a rookie coming into the game. You don't need them all. You don't want them all. And you won't get them all. So find your lane. We started off in single family. I stayed in single family for a decade. Mastered single family homes and renovations and remodeling and flips. Then we went to multifamily. Then we went to commercial. Then we went to new land. Like, we stayed in our lane for a very long time because I always knew that if I ventured off into another lane and I failed, my number one lane is never going to fail me. I'll be fine, right? That's why a lot of athletes and high-level CEOs, they take risks because they already know what their bread and butter is. So my advice to a rookie is align yourself with the individuals who are at the next level that you want to be at. But always keep in your mind whatever your highest level is. If you want to be a CEO with 37 employees, if that's your highest target, then what's your, again, project manager 101, right? What's your critical path to get there? What's your fastest, easiest, and most complicated way to get to your goal? You have to outline these things. This isn't TV, all right? I know I'm on TV, but I'm on real TV. I'm not on HGTV or DIY with the fake shit. We're on CNBC. We're on different shit, right? We're on finance channels. Why? Because this is a money game. So as a rookie, game. What I'm trying to tell you, it's a money game. So you need to understand that people are going to take your fucking money because they know you don't know how to be a financial manager of money. So if you don't understand how to pay your own bills, if you don't understand how to manage money, if you don't understand what $1 million looks like, learn. You need to learn that first, because guys like me will take your fucking money in a heartbeat. And I did that as a contractor for the first 10 years of my life. When an investor would come to me and they were a rookie coming out of all these programs, I looked at them like lunch, because I was a different mindset then. I was like, I still had like that street kid mentality, like, I got a gift, I'm taking your money, you're an idiot, it's not my fault. I'm in construction, you're in investing, you should know. That was my mindset. And then you guys here, you guys participated in a million flips. So you know exactly what I'm saying. You would come across a subcontractor or a contractor, he's like looking at you, chomping at the bit like, you fool. Go ahead. Give me a vague scope of work. Go ahead.
One of my students, we did a property walkthrough yesterday, and at one of my students' house, and she got like a little soffit problem, nothing major. And she was like, one contractor came through and told her $600. Another contractor came through and told her $2,300. And I just had to tell her, like, if you present yourself like that, they're gonna take advantage of you every time. Like, it probably ain't even a $600 job, but if you present yourself as a rookie, you don't really know, people gonna take advantage of you.
It's true. You again, when I was in the heyday of contracting, I could see it a mile away. I would go to a point, but see, here's the difference though. My mindset was I wanted to, at that time, I want to be the biggest, the best, the richest, the most dominant. That was then. So to do that, I had to learn the other side. I had to learn real estate. I had to learn finance. I had to learn investing, right? I had to learn Wall Street. So when we took on the hedge funds as clients, as a contractor, every spreadsheet they give me, I saved and studied. Every chain of command, I studied why. Every managing level, I studied why they have so many fucking managers. But I studied all this, and I thought, well, if I could take all of this information and put this into my itty bitty little construction company at that time, then I'll be the best in Chicago. It was that was my rookie first goal, be the best in Chicago. I never had goals. I never had goals to even be sitting here right now discussing shit like this with you. That was never even an idea, to be on TV, to coach this shit, to run boot camps, to have online courses. That was never a thought. I thought, I'm a contractor. I'm going to be a contractor for life. I'm just going to be the best contractor I got. I'm going to hire other people to run jobs, and I'm going to go home. Never had an idea that this was a different path. So my point is, as a rookie, start with your small goals, because you have no idea where the fuck it's going to take you. And God's already got the plan for you. You just got to show up.
You got to show up. Absolutely. All right. So you guys that are following, I want you guys to share. I want you to like, subscribe. If you're on YouTube, like and subscribe to the channel. If you're on Facebook, I want you to share it with your friends. I want you to comment. I saw Candace said, so true. Thank you. You're absolutely welcome. Go ahead and follow if you haven't followed already. All right. So Rowdy, yesterday I talked about some key performance indicators. What do you think are
Whoa. Who taught you that shit?
That's why I'm talking to you.
I'll wait.
The man right here.
Fred, hold my beer.
So listen, we were talking at the property walkthrough about some key performance indicators. And I want you to tell me which one is the most important when you're rehabbing? Because they're all important, but which one is you can't go around?
It's an impossible question to answer, and here's why. Every single construction project you take on, every single rehab that you take on, you have three things you have to consider that go into your KPIs. What matters most? Time, quality, or money, right? Time, quality, or money. Ask yourself those three every single flip, because they're not all the same. So every flip could be different. Let's say you have 3 houses right now that you're about to start in the next 30 days. All right. Project A, it might be a time game, right? You got to hit the market at a certain time to hit that ARV, which means quality and money might take a hit. Maybe project B, you have all the time in the world, but quality has to be there because the ARV is so fucking high, and the end buyer wants $1 million product. All right. So quality is the focus. That's going to cost you money, but you should be all right on time. You see how they all balance out?
They all balance out.
So you have to look at it that way. So when you look at things like money, time, and all that stuff, that's how you decide where your risk is going to start, right? And then you go into your KPIs of tracking that. And for those who don't know what KPIs are, those are key performance indicators. That's how companies operate. And they track profitability and failure. Where are they not making the money? We need to track metrics, right? So, for example, sub-inventory is a major KPI in construction. What that means is having a roster of different contractors, electricians, plumbers, HVAC, and I use the metric of 3. Have 3 electricians on your roster, have 3 plumbers, right? And you can measure that. And then you give your project managers those assignments saying, on top of what you're doing, we need to make sure that we have at least 3 of everything that we need. Why? And I know a lot of rookies are like, well, don't you hire a general contractor for that? Yes, but no. Because if you depend on the general contractor for everything, you're going to fail. So have your own arsenal prepared. That's why you track KPIs. They show up to jobs and fulfill those KPIs. Cheers.
Man, that was like, when I tell you that was gold, like that was like drop the mic, gold nugget.
I can't drop the mic. I can't drop the mic because I got these little baby mics.
You better not drop that mic.
Oh my God.
He's the content guy's like, hey, stop talking shit.
All right. I got a question, sidebar question.
Okay.
All right.
This is a personal question. If you don't want to answer it, I understand.
I'll answer anything. Go. Now, so I say that all the time. I'll answer anybody's question, whether you like the answer or not. It's on you.
Do you have any New Year's resolutions or any new goals for 2023?
To double my numbers. I don't believe in resolutions.
Okay.
And simply put, I was raised by, I had certain mentors that came up. I actually did a post about this not too long ago, maybe a week ago. I had 3 major mentors, and I still have them to this day. One's passed away now. But they were not in real estate investing. They invested in real estate, but that wasn't their primary focus in life. That wasn't their career, right? One was a doctor. One was a Wall Street, obviously, guy. And then the other one was, he's still a regional sales director for a pharmaceutical company, one of the biggest ones in the world. So all of them brought something different to me about building a business. It didn't matter, because this is where I could help rookies again with some advice. Don't focus so much on creating an investment. Don't worry so much on buying a property and flipping a property, because there's a million exit strategies with a property anyway. Flipping is just one of them. Focus on building a solid business that fundamentally will be a foundation for you to do whatever the fuck you want, because the business itself has layers of protection. It also has layers that are rooted in the ground, so you have something to hang on, like you have something to build, right? So you have to understand a little bit of operations and how managers really manage, and how a structure of an organization looks, and is an LLC better for you than an S corp, and all that bullshit. It matters. So that's why I wanted to share that, because I don't do resolutions, because those same mentors said, if you have to wake up on December 31st and you think you're going to fucking wake up 24 hours later and be a different man, you're fucking lying to yourself, right? You are who you are. It's an evolution in a journey. So you should be setting resolutions every fucking day of your life, right? How am I going to hit my goal? What's my new goal? Hit a goal, I need another goal. Oh, that didn't work, I need another route. What is January 1st to do? Shit, nothing. It's a mindset. So no, I don't have any resolutions. All I want to do is double my numbers and fucking make pancakes on Sundays for the kids.
That's great.
I found that most successful business owners don't have New Year's resolutions. It's more of I'm gonna keep doing what I've been doing. I'm gonna push a little harder, set a couple of goals for the quarter. We're gonna hit them, and we're gonna keep going. But nothing.
You know what I did on New Year's? You know what I did on New Year's? My grandmother came to live with me. Nobody knows this, not you guys know. I mean, very few people know this, but my grandmother's sick, so she came to live with me because I had plenty of room, right? So we take care of her. She's got real bad diabetes. She's 81 years old. She needs probably, I was just telling Fred this earlier, she probably needs anywhere between 30 and 40 units of insulin throughout the entire fucking 24-hour period every day. That's how bad she is. So that's like a third child to take care of, right? So it's breakfast, lunch, and dinner that needs to be made consistently. I stay at home on New Year's Eve. I worked with my laptop, making sure everybody's fed. They're all watching, the Channel 5 or whatever the fuck it was. They're watching the New Year's celebrations in New York and Chicago. They're doing their thing. Kids are happy. We're lighting off fireworks, right? That's my mindset. Not once did I have any desire to go out. I had no desire to be in some crowd. I had no desire to be in, or what do they call it? Fear of missing out, FOMO. I had none of that shit. Because to me, I'm like, this is a great opportunity to take advantage of all the idiots who aren't taking advantage.
Who aren't working, right?
Right. Okay. So I was good to go. I woke up on New Year's Day and went to the gym. when half the world woke up hungover. Facts.
Absolutely. You had one.
Well, I was just going to piggyback off of that business concept that you said. I think a lot of people don't really understand that foundation, and they don't really understand a business. A lot of times people create jobs for themselves and they don't create businesses. So one thing that I will say to the new people is make sure you create a business. And in my eyes, a business is something that can run without you. If you're creating something that needs you every day, you're not creating a business. And that's what I hear Rowdy saying is create a business to where you are hiring managers, you're hiring people to run it, and you are the overseer. So that was kind of what I heard.
Speaking of that, Rowdy, tell me what new venture you have going on as it relates to construction and setting up that, making it a business.
Nice transition. I like that. So I have.
Hey, give me some more right there.
I want it on that too. Shit. No, we offer a new service that we kind of been sitting on for a number of years. About 6 years ago, I created a virtual project management like call center with actual like real project managers, not like virtual assistants from Indonesia and shit like that. And we just waited for the right market. Now's the right market, right? So we have this dedicated virtual project manager call center where we have virtual project managers ready to take on your projects virtually. So if you're in Sacramento, Tampa, Chicago, wherever you're at, you have projects, we can jump in and assist you. So for example, before I got on this call, I received a call from a client who's now a client. He's in Texas who bought 15 homes in Birmingham where you're at. And he's like, listen, my project manager, but he buys in like 9 states and his project manager flies all over. I said, first off, your project manager is going to burn out if he's not burned out already. I said, secondly, I guarantee you're hemorrhaging money left and right because how do you control that shit with one person? That's not going to happen. I said, thirdly, use us. So we had that call this morning and they're going to send us 15 projects for us to virtually project manage. And we handle all the setup, the scopes of work, the budgets. We provide oversight and advice on what you should be doing, but you guys are the boots on the ground. We're not there. So it's one of those things where it's like every single day we have a daily huddle. We check in with our clients. We make sure that they get us 10 pictures. We assist with lien waivers and change orders and payments and all those good things. We review everything. We review the pictures and the videos and make sure quality's there. We assist and provide advice on like material selections and design. We work with the architects. I mean, we are literally the most affordable project management system ever. And you guys know me. I don't do shit that's being done. I do things that have never been done. So right now, I make these jokes now. I'm like, I'm going to become the greatest call center manager of all time, because that's what it's going to become. I go from construction to a call center. I mean, but you know what?
Oh my God.
The industry needed this, right? The industry absolutely needs this. And it's the most affordable thing. And I'll tell you the numbers right now. You hire a project manager off the street, you're paying $65,000 plus bonuses and incentives. That could be anywhere between 2 and 5% added to that, right? That's on your payroll. Then you got payroll taxes anywhere between, I don't know, 10 and 20%, right? Then you also have benefit packages that could be another 12 to 20%. Add all that up. It's killing your profitability. And they're not doing it correctly. They're still fucking up. You're still trying to train them. You don't know how to train them because you're not a project manager. You're an investor who came from a 9-to-5 job working in pharmaceuticals. You might have been a chef who got bored cooking food. So you don't even know how to run a business in the first place. Okay? So you have to look at the value that we're providing. Hire the best of the best. We got them all over here, and we jump in for a fraction of the cost. That's the new service package I'm working on. Amen.
Sip to that. Sip to that.
I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it.
Sip to that.
All right.
And then we got a TV. We got a new TV show.
Okay.
We got a new TV show. It's called The Funding Face Off. And then I forgot about that. We taped that last year. It comes out this spring, but it'll be streaming on all the live streams. But it's the first real estate investing show ever. It's not. Well, first off, it's not fake. So we have investors from all over the world that'll fly in with deals, and they want us to fund them. And there's 6 of us on a panel. We have Kevin Harrington, who's from the Shark Tank, the original Shark. He sits next to me. He's a cool dude. And we all bring a certain expertise to the table, right? Obviously, I come in with construction. Some of them come in with creative finance. Some do land financing. It's cool, right? And people will come present us deals, and we have to either fund them as a group or we don't fund them at all. And it's a new show that I think is going to fully help anybody who's in real estate investing or who wants to get in real estate investing learn how we make a deal then and there. Because we only get 30 seconds to review who's coming on. We don't know who it is. We don't know what the deal is. So we have a tablet. We sit down. We open up our tablet while they're getting mic'd up and they're walking onto the set. We're sitting there going, okay, we're looking at an Excel going, okay, what the fuck is he doing? What's he buying? What is this? Oh, my God. And there's like numbers. And then they have a moment to talk to us, and I'll say, listen, because they're nervous. And I don't blame them. I'd be nervous too if I had to sit in front of my ass. So I'll look at it and say, listen, I see that there's rehab numbers in here, or I see there's construction in here. I said, do me a favor. I don't have time to go through your numbers. So you have to sell us. Like don't be nervous. But it's the way we make a deal was coming out of your mouth and the knowledge base that you have. Make me believe in the deal. I mean, that's really what it is. So it's not fake at all. And we go for about 10, 15 minutes with each person who presents, each investor, and we try to figure out, is there a deal to be made? And we all have to be in. We're either in or we're out, and we fund their deal. It could be the acquisition and rehab. It could just be the rehab. It could be, gap funding. It could be anything. We did a deal. We're about to do a land deal in Vegas. I can't talk about it, but it's fucking monumental. I would never have even known that the deal to be made if I wasn't on the show. A real estate broker brought us there. So there's so much to learn there, because I was even asking questions. I'm like, wait a minute. So all this land, he's showing us this graph and all this topography maps. I'm like, so you want to build a subdivision on that mountain? He's like, yeah. I said, so we're going to cut through 100 feet of rock? He's like, yes. I'm like, I'm looking around like, I've never done through 100 feet of rock. I don't know. I'm just laughing. I'm like, because I won't bullshit them. I'll tell them exactly why I will do the deal. I'll tell them exactly why I won't do the deal. But I'll also tell them what I don't know. I'm like, I've never cut into a mountainside. I'm from Chicago. We don't have mountains.
That's sweet, man. I love it.
I think the key thing about what you just said, and why funding face-off is going to be so good, is because a lot of investors feel like in order to buy a property, you got to go look at the properties, you got to go see it, you got to walk through it, and you're literally making deals on the spot without touching it, without seeing what it looks like, without bringing your contractors in and getting bids and quotes. Like, you're literally making deals, you're making deals from the desktop without even going to see. And I think that's what separates investors. That's what separates the beginner investors from the ones who are actually doing more deals, because you shouldn't have to look at every property.
Without question. That's probably the most accurate assessment of the whole project, is that, and again, I don't want this to sound bad, but it's facts. At our level, we're able to, as a group, look at these deals in minutes. And the questions that we're asking each other on camera and bouncing ideas back and forth while this is happening live, and then we're asking them directly. We're asking you the question, like, okay, so creative financing wise, what's the percentage rate on this? How long have you had? Like, we start going at it, right? People don't ever get to see that part of real estate investing. No investor exposes that. They just talk about their acquisitions and dispositions. That's great. How does it actually work, bro? How do you actually do that? And that's where people are going to realize, like, this is a business, right? This is not just, I'm gonna go buy that property. Okay, how are we getting that property? What's the process? How much is it going to cost? What's the step-by-step? Who's all involved in the transaction? How long is that going to take? And then you go to construction. That's what I'm trying to say is, and I'm not trying to scare the rookies, but this is a business, and the best of the best have put in years. I'm 41 years old. I've been in this 20 years. It's all I know, right? I'm a young man. I still have hair, thank God, but it's going. The stress is real. All this is going great. It's happening. It's happening. That's called stress. So my point is, you got to put in your time and get those scars, get that scar tissue. You got to get your experience, honestly. And anybody that wants to come on our show, we have a website. You could sign up if your deal makes sense. If you got the bravado, right, come on the show, because we tell them all the time. You know what? This is your time to show the world who you are anyway, right? Because what do we do when we're real estate investors? We try to be the best in our market and buy up every single property we possibly can, because we have 100 other investors doing the same thing. So this puts you on the map in your own community, saying, oh, I'm Rotty Garcilazo. I'm in the Chi-Town area. I do 110 flips a year. Oh, shit. They're going to him, because now they have a face to that image. So I tell people all the time, take this serious when you come here, because you get to showcase and market who you are. And if you don't have a brand, you better have a brand, because that's what people remember. Anyway, let me take a sip.
Absolutely.
Agree.
Absolutely.
That's enough. That's too much. We are super excited that you are coming to Birmingham for our conference that we're having on January 27th and 28th.
Absolutely.
We can't wait. You're going to rock the house. You are our featured speaker. We're going to dig into these rehabs. We're going to help them answer any questions that they got.
And really set them up on a plan so that they're not going out blindly and getting
Wait.
unnecessary scars.
Are you saying that I gotta set them up on a plan? We gotta discuss this shit in advance, guys. You can't just be throwing shit out there like.
Listen, we're the planners. You talk the shit, we create the plans. We got you.
All right, I can do that.
There it is.
Bet. I'm in.
I'll close out.
All right. So, you guys, if you haven't signed up today, make sure you sign up. We are really excited. We have a few spots left, and we want you guys to make sure you see Ryan in person. Make sure you take advantage of it. Ryan has a promo code. So if you are interested, use the word Rotty, ROTTY, and make sure it's on Eventbrite, the Simple Sexy Flipping Conference. Use Rotty, ROTTY, and get 50% off of your ticket just for watching today's live. All right.
Is that it? We don't get to answer questions. Everybody else's shit, not even my shit.
All right.
Yo.
Drop some questions. If you have any questions that you want to ask Rowdy. Valerie said, thank you. You're absolutely welcome, Valerie. Y'all ask Rowdy some questions. You got Rowdy on this live. Make sure you take advantage of it. Right. What, you just thought of a question? Because you look like you did. You got a comment. You lying.
You're stupid.
So y'all
Rowdy, man, you done scared the people.
Happens. These things happen.
Ryan, you done scared the people. They don't even want to talk to you. They gonna come see you though. I know that for a fact.
You can pet this dog. This dog does not bite unless we're in a deal together. No, I'm kidding.
Oh man.
But absolutely come check out Rowdy. Rowdy has really, really changed how we do rehabs. From getting your crap together to outline and showing you that you ain't got your crap together. I think that might have been the biggest exposure. Was there's a lot of holes that we had that no one wanted to admit to, but they were there, and Rowdy was able to bring them forefront so that we can correct them.
Agree.
I'm surprised Antonio agreed. He didn't want to be the one to show the holes. All right.
Come on.
So is there front row seats for the conference? I need to be in the first row getting this info. Absolutely. There are front row seats. So if you choose the VIP, you get VIP seating, and you can sit right in the front with everything you need, and you can get that access to Rowdy. Absolutely.
And you mentioned VIP. Also, if you are a new investor, you haven't set your business up yet, you will get a free training on how to properly set that business up to go for funding in the future.
Absolutely. That was a good question. All right, give me some more.
All right.
I'm here. Take advantage. I'm telling you. People pay a lot of money to ask me questions. I'm being honest.
I pay a whole lot of money. I know some of them people.
I'm here. Take advantage. I made time for you guys.
Hey, well, I
ask me anything about construction and rehabbing. Ask me anything. Ask me anything about rehabbing.
All right, sidebar. Why they getting their question together? Have you finished that hotel yet? Y'all was doing.
It's done.
Hotel done.
Yeah. Hotel's done. We did that. Shit. It's been done for so long, I don't remember. We finished it probably in the summer. Honestly, probably the summertime. We had like 100 and something rooms, and no blueprints because the original, well, the new buyers, the new investors, they didn't for whatever reason they couldn't find the original prints, so it was hard for us to figure out, how the plumbing ran and the electrical ran because that's a different type of building. So there's a little bit of learning curve there. And then obviously when you tap into something that's that old, there's leaks. We had a lot of plumbing leaks throughout everything. I remember we had a plumbing.
I remember you saying the leak.
I went to pick up a check. And I walk in and the door's open, right? And I walk into the lobby and I'm watching all this water just dribbling and I see buckets. And of course I'm pissed the fuck off. I'm like, where the fuck is Ronnie, my project manager? Where the fuck's he at? So obviously they're taking care of the problem, but why don't I know about the problem? Then I'm thinking to myself, I don't want to know about the problem. But I want to know about the problem. But I don't want to know about the problem. So I'm actually arguing with myself as I'm getting in the elevator to go find his ass on one of the floors because he's obviously not answering my call because he knows I'm in the building. So I'm like, fuck him. Where's he at? Probably he's on the 4th floor. So I'm hitting 4. I'm looking down. I'm like, nope. And I'm listening because every floor has shit going on. I'm like, he said he was working on tile. I don't hear no saws. All right, go back to the 3rd floor. I hear saws. I'm like, fucker. I get out, and I see holes in the hallway. I'm not lying. Like there's squares, all lined up, and I could tell. I figured it out. That's where all the shower valves were lined up per room, right? And I'm like, why the fuck do we have these little squares cut up? There's like 10 of them, and I realized there was leaks in every single bathroom when we try to swap out the old valves, put the new valves in, and I'm like. So we're going to replumb this entire hotel because that's going to cost $100K. It was a nightmare. That was the only problem that's why I tell people all the time, plan for plumbing. Plumbing is the most expensive trade in the game. Plumbing is one of those, why things leak, I don't know. I would love to know. Seriously, you can solder the shit out of something. You can glue it and putty it. It leaks. It's like you give it a little bit of pressure. You don't realize when you turn a faucet on. Well, you don't realize when you turn a faucet on, there's pressure that goes through there. When you turn your shower head on, there's pressure that goes through those lines. When you flush a toilet, that's pressure. So that pressure, the tiniest little hole, it will leak. It's like how they say like mice can fit in like the smallest hole in the world. That's how water is. It will find a way out, and that's gravity taking it. Learned a lot in my day of fucking plumbing. I will never be a plumber in my life. I don't even like plumbers. I look at plumbers. I said, I already know you're going to cost me $7,500. Just do your job.
Listen, Candace put, I want to turn a hotel into mini apartments. Can you give us some advice on it?
Yes. It's very, very similar, to be honest with you. The layouts are similar. Depending on how many floors you have in the apartments, attack it floor by floor. Don't attack all floors at the same time. Make it cookie cutter so every single room and every single apartment complex looks the same, which means you can keep your doors at the same price tag. Back in the day, it was $15,000 a door. With inflation, it's probably $25,000, $30,000 a door now. So keep that price tag in mind. That includes all of your carpentry. Everything you would do to remodel and renovate the inside of that one unit is probably going to cost you close to $25 to $30K now. Then you have your common areas and you have your parking lots and you have, I don't know if that parks or pools, consider all that in the apartment complex, roofs and windows, exterior doors and security, right? So you have to think about all the ancillary problems that you also have to meet for code because of safety. So don't just get lost in the, I got to renovate the apartment units themselves. Check the stairs, make sure there's rails, there's proper lighting. You don't want people getting raped, murdered, beat, stabbed on your property. That's a problem for you. I mean, your insurance is going to be like, we're good. So, I mean, these are things to consider. And obviously when people buy apartment complexes, usually they're in Class C or below neighborhoods. I get all that. So just continue understanding where you're buying, what you're buying, and what it needs. My advice on that also is find out Was there a property management company that was running that for years? Is there a property manager currently running that now? And are there maintenance records? Get your maintenance records on it to find out what's been done, what's been maintained. More importantly, what's not been maintained, because what's not been maintained is your problem.
Facts. All right. What are some creative developments that you've worked on?
I was paid to consult on. They're not nursing facilities, but they're the long-term care homes now. So I have a lot of investors, in our masterminds and whatnot, that'll buy large mansions. They have like 12, 15 rooms, so like 12, 15,000 square feet. And they convert them into, long-term care facilities so that, and we got to be careful with the term facility, because that's not what they like to hear, but it's basically making everything warm. And that's where you take a room and you make it feel like it's their apartment, make them feel at home for the elderly. So they're not in a facility. That's the idea. So everything that we, and they also will purchase like an old hotel, an old hospital, an old clinic, medical office, things like that. And the idea is to take anything that's metallic, iron, metal, aluminum, anything shiny, copperish, and make it warm by replacing that with like a wood trim or wood doors or all those things to make it feel like it's at home versus a commercial space. So it was cool to consult on that because we had to, I can't divulge too much on that one. Fuck it. So we had there was an old building out here. It was like a 30,000 square foot home that was up in the hills up here, out in the boons outside of Chicago. And it was owned by the old CEO of Motorola from the 70s. It had an Olympic-sized pool. I mean, the place was massive. The property was picked up by a client for $800K on foreclosure auction. Obviously, it's worth millions, clearly. But I remember the first day I walked on that property, there was blood everywhere. The moment I walked in the front door, there's blood. And I'm like, all right. So the first thing I'm thinking, cartel. It was a mafioso home, obviously. The only logical thing, who's going to live here, right? This thing is massive. So I'm like, who's going to live here? Somebody who's hiding, because it was literally in the woods. You know what I mean? And the road up was windy. I mean, if you come from certain areas, you're well versed. So I was like, I know what this is. So you do your thing, and I was walking around. Come to find out, that's where the dogs were shot. Like the dogs, the German Shepherds. That's where they were all shot by the DEA. So it was a cool consult to go into that and look at the budgets. Let me just tell you, the budget was off by $1 million. It wasn't off by 10,000. It wasn't off by 1,000. It wasn't off by a month. It was off by $1 million. And I had said that. The first day I walked there, the first 10 minutes I walked there, I said, what's your budget? He told me. I said, no, bro, negative. I go, do you understand the square footage in here? However, everything got done, and it currently is a long-term nursing home, right? But that's the story behind that property. It's pretty dope, actually. So the DEA came in the middle of the night, shot all the dogs. There was like 9 dogs, shot every single dog. Dude had a 50 cal in the front window. He was ready. You know what a 50 cal is? They use that shit in war. They're tied to Humvees. That's the ones on the top that go. Yeah, one in the living room pointing out the front window. I ain't lying. I cannot make this up. It's fantastic. I got great stories of properties that I've watched and worked on.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Last question. What would you advise if they just had 7 acres just sitting there 15 minutes away from downtown?
What to do with the land?
Yeah, I think that's
the question. What to do with the land? If you're experienced in development, develop it out and build a community where you can do a couple houses, maybe a couple of restaurants, those newer type developments. If you have partners, financing, and experience in that, which most people don't. 2, another option would be is develop the land itself and sell it to an investor who will take it further. So you could develop 7 acres for between $200,000 and $500,000, get the land ready, knock down all the trees, do the excavation, do all the underground sewers and get the lines prepared, and then sell that prepared for somebody else who could take it to the next level. You can make millions of dollars doing that because you're selling land. And if you don't have the experience, that's probably the route I would take. take plan B. Obviously, build on it. It's land. Build on it. But call your city, find out about the zoning. What can you put there? Could it be mixed-use property? Is it retail? Is it only residential? Can you do apartments? Can you do Airbnbs? Whatever. But if I was not experienced in that, I would just pay. I'd get a loan or borrow money from investors, obviously. Develop the land and sell the land, prepared for somebody else who's going to come in with $10 million and do his thing for $22 million. That makes sense, or did I lose you?
All right.
Now I make a lot of it.
All right.
You're like,
thank you, Rowdy.
You're
Appreciate
like, what did he just say? You're welcome.
Game.
I'm
like, I ain't trying to do none of that work.
Most people don't want to. But that's what I'm saying that in this game, most people don't want to. They just see the money. Like, I can make $1 million. Okay, what's it going to take? How much time, money, and heartache is it going to take to make $1 million? And by the time you get to the end, it won't be $1 million. It'll be a percentage of that, and you would have lost a lot, personally, financially, and business-wise. So you got to be prepared for these things.
Absolutely.
Like, honestly, I've been doing this since I was a young buck. On a personal level, I've had so many personal relationships suffer because of my determination to be the best. Trying to be like the Michael Jordan of construction, right? Trying to be the Kobe Bryant, right? When you are that obsessed, nothing matters. Everything is secondary, third, fourth, the whole nine. So depending on your personal motivation, you gotta take that into account as to what your mission is and all of the things that are going to suffer because of that mission.
Delayed gratification.
Tough.
Oh, I like how she looked at you. Facts. She got you, Antonio.
That right there.
We did a podcast a few weeks ago, Ramon Toots, and it was delayed gratification is the name of the podcast. And that was one of the questions he asked, what was our goals and what were we going to allow to suffer to reach it?
It's a pretty good question.
Questions.
And the reason why, let me be a little love connection here from experience. The reason why she's asking that, Antonio, is because she knows the answer. Do you know the answer?
She knows.
And your answer better be pretty fucking good with a plan behind it. But that's not why I'm here. That's not what I'm here for. I'm here to flip that shit. I'm not here to fix that shit. I'm here to flip that shit.
Boy, y'all too funny.
Oh my gosh. Thank you, Rowdy. We love you.
Thank you very
Can't
much.
wait to see you.
Sounds good.
Talk
Thank
soon.
you guys. Talk to you guys soon.
Bro.
Sound.com